Hello everybody, this is Julissa. Thank you so much everybody for coming back to my channel. Thank you so much to everybody who's listening right now in the podcast. It is Tuesday, July 1st, 2025. I wanted to come here and share this breaking news with everybody. Before I continue, I have to give you a trigger warning. But this story is a breaking news and it could be very sensitive to a lot of people, so I just want to give you that trigger warning. Maybe this is not the podcast you want to listen to according to the title, right? Before I continue, of course, also I wanted to thank you everybody who's using Spotify to listen to this podcast. Don't forget to follow me on Spotify, so every time I make a new episode you get a notification. Also, thank you so much to the audience that's listening using Apple Podcasts. I see a lot of people listening from Australia. I just wanted to come here and say thank you so much. I see you guys listening. Really appreciate it. And of course, everybody who's watching this video on YouTube, don't forget to share, like, and subscribe, okay? So right now, there is a story that's coming out from near the border of Mexico, right? And they're saying, listen to this, right? Almost 400 human corpses were found piled high in mysterious house of horror at U.S.-Mexican border. I'm gonna read you this way. I wanted to give you a trigger warning. The number of decomposing bodies found stacked in a nondescript building at the Mexico-U.S. border is still rising, according to investigators. Nearly 400 bodies have been accounted for in a site in Juarez, Mexico, which is just across the border from El Paso, Texas, including 383 complete human bodies and 6 partial remains, okay? Some of the people found at the suspected secret crematorium are thought to have been there for 3 to 4 years. Wow. 3 to 4 years. What is going on? What is this? It's very gruesome. It's very oh my goodness, this is very shocking. And I wonder how they get there. So let me continue. To read. Some of the people found are suspected. Well, I already read that to you guys, that they have been there for 3 to 4 years. Stacks of cadavers were found after a tip led authorities on Thursday to a property that looked more like a home than an incinerator. Most of the dead appear to have been embalmed. I might be mispronouncing the word embalmed. Mexican authorities told reporters during a press conference yesterday. It is unclear why they have not been either buried or incinerated, according to the report. The owner, Jose Luis Arellano Cuaron, and an employee will be charged with improper disposal of bodies. Like, that is so sick. 400. Wow. The remains are being checked to ensure the bodies are not the victims of murder, and more charges could follow. This is the thing, like, there's so many cases of missing people, right? And I know, like, near the border of Mexico, there's always like, what I hear about it is that it's very dangerous, right? There's a lot of people that go missing, just going into Mexico and coming over here too. It's usually through the border. That's what I meant to say. I heard also there was a case in DC that 34 women were missing in one day in DC. And it's like, what is going on? And now in this house that looked just like a normal house near the border of Mexico, like I just read to you, 400 bodies were found that they believe that these people had died 2 to 3 years ago. This is very shocking. It says here, state officials, listen to this, believe that many of these bodies appear to have come from 6 different funeral homes in the sprawling border city, where relatives were giving ashes and were under the belief the loved one have been properly disposed of. Something else is going on here, right? I mean, it's so hard to even explain. Funeral homes, how much they cost, and they're gonna do this to people. They're gonna do this to a human body. It says here, while the owner appeared to have 3 licenses to operate at one point, it was unclear whether the operation was in good standing. The governor of the state of Chihuahua told reporters that the crematorium had been run by irresponsible and unscrupulous people who misused these licenses and permits. So, I wonder, like, there's some type of business that they're doing, right? I don't even want to go into, like, some of the things that you, like, think that they might have done to these bodies is crazy. The gruesome discovery also opened the door for closure to the families of hundreds of people who have been missing in the city known for cartel violence. That's what I was saying earlier. That border near El Paso, the border from the U.S. and Mexico, is notorious for crimes and things like this, right? I'm not saying anything made up. This is known for that, right? So, just a month ago, I think I heard about this music group who just goes to different towns in Mexico, and maybe 8 of them, right? And suddenly they go missing, right? And then it happened twice already. 2 young kids group were on tour, right? Just going through town, playing, making their money, and they just they disappear and go missing. So this is crazy, and this happens a lot, but I think it's time. Now that I read this, I remember there's a case that happened. I don't know if it was here in Connecticut, but there was another case about another funeral home that they revoked the license of that person because they had found that also something else was happening, right? So maybe when things like this come to the surface, maybe there's a reason that they need to start investigating how these people operate. Okay, I mean, 400 bodies. So let me just continue here. During the previous administration here in the U.S., I don't want to say so they don't cancel the video, say many migrants waiting for legal entry into the U.S. were often kidnapped or went missing. And they say, quote unquote, of course, all the families and we ourselves are worried and wonder who is there. What bodies are there? Are they identified? The mothers told us, my daughter is not there. She said from Ciudad Juarez Women's Roundtable. Let me see what else says here. The state has opened up a process for anyone who believes their loved ones might be in there. Family are asked to bring an official ID as well as the description of what their loved one was wearing and what funeral home they were released. They released their bodies on the loved one's body too. Imagine after, this is why this video I give you a trigger warning. Imagine after 2 to 3 years after going through the loss of somebody, and then they're saying the ashes that you were given, they might not belong to your loved one, and now please come and bring the ID and make sure like you tell us exactly what funeral home you use. Like, what? So that tells you one thing, right? These places needs to be they need to be investigated. I don't know how often, like the state, I don't know in Mexico how that works either, but maybe there should be some type of regulation that investigate their process, right? That they make sure that they're doing, they are inspectable. They need licenses to do stuff like this, right? So I'm sure there's an investigation that happens, right? But wow, this is so crazy that this happened. But somebody gave a tip to the police and now they're being investigated. Let me read to you some of the comments because I'm interested to see what people are commenting about this. Somebody said, I am very curious about the incentive or motivation for not incinerating the bodies. Maybe their bodies were used for something else. And even involved, I would expect odors or leakage during some. That's what I was thinking too. But it was the neighbor who tipped, right? Who tipped the authorities. But why not? Why didn't they complete the process? If the family wanted the ashes, why didn't complete the process? It's probably some type of business that they're doing. Without getting too gruesome, there's something that they're doing with that, or they, I don't know. Like I said, it's just so crazy. Let me see what else the people are saying. Not much regard for the living nor the dead, it seems. Sad, harsh environment, somebody posted. Not sure cadavers were necessary. There's mountain of rotting, and rest in peace to all the innocent victims. Can you, I mean, you have to be, I'm just thinking about the owners, right? Like, you recruit people to come work for you. Do that. Like, one thing is to recruit people to help you if you have a funeral home business, right? Funeral thing, and they know what they're getting themselves to, but to show up and do that knowing what's there. I mean, they said 2 to 3 years, right? 400 of them. Like, that's very demonic. Like, that there's something off with the people who handle this for them to do that for so long like that. So I don't want to read anymore. It's very gruesome, you guys. So it's very sick. I cannot believe, I pray for the family that now they're gonna go through this whole process of identifying and all of that. That's very sad. But maybe also they'll get some answers, especially the families of people who have been missing, right? So let me know, guys, what you think in the comments. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming back to the channel. Thank you to everybody who's listening in the podcast. Have a good day, everybody. God bless.